Groggy, good morning, said old Grog. Uh, uh, I feel productive.
Legendary, Legendary, ENTJ, Pirate Napoleon Revolution, not Bonaparte, was about productivity, excellence, productivity, efficiency and productivity. He had a plan for everything, and when there wasn't action he thought of strategies. There was action about him, speaking so quickly and with such indignation to work maybe he'd be reincarnated as flashy Steve Jobs. Which is also an ENTJ actually, he had dreams and career dreams, like a strategy but in a dreamlike state. This had some sensitivity, but the one to ruin their plans is usually their neurotic bad mental health, or likelier than tough words with toughness that's met like summoning a first layer of tolerance. Napoleon was a man that was as tough as it gets, like James,
Maybe I should click here first. Yeah, there we go.
A few days later, a pleasant 2 weeks. Weeks of toiling through spiritual productivity, technically and intellectual performance. They were sitting in the university benches being considered with own theories and papers. What if there's another plane? What shall be our next plane? Everyone knows of the Coffee Bean Caribbean Islands, watery island plane. Let's go to there as beans and legends. The place is 50% oxygen compared to Earth's 20%, it will make for different species and generous ability, evolution. You will get used to it, it's not dangerous, makes the rum taste better, great sleep like waking up lucky and with enough pressure to the chest the oxygen recovers the brain. True. You might just as well pressure with your arms pushing your chest. I say let's align with the French. There is strategy between every territory and they're all eager to have us. Fine. Legendary, ENTJ, Pirate Napoleon Revolution, not Bonaparte, was about productivity, excellence, productivity, efficiency and productivity. He had a plan for everything, and when there wasn't action he thought of strategies. There was action about him, speaking so quickly and with such indignation to work maybe he'd be reincarnated as flashy Steve Jobs. Which is also an ENTJ actually, he had dreams and career dreams. A leader with a powerful arsenal of friends, he made friends with thinkers and was a self-improver compared to their super-efficient group counterpart the boss or secretary personality one-letter difference, ESTJ. There are many differences, for example how they are when they are not whipping people into efficiency, Napoleon being too tough and showing no emotion maybe, being abstract and intuition like something reached blindly in a dream. These personalities are both very sensitive like to their five senses, brain and good people, ENTJ being vulnerable to cruel truths, about his abilities perhaps and shifting cold speech. This is the most sensitive thinker perhaps, like sensitive senses, behind a tough group leading exterior, it's tough like impossible intelligence, fueling a retort, all business, no bullshit. In efficiency there is not always time for emotion, but he was about group strategic productivity than business. He was a thinker businessman in this world, climbing ladders of capitalism that was like a quest of honor, statistically being happy and good at all sorts of work. This is not near the 1700s but they have the newly discovered 1000s Chinese black powder for weapons. A remarkable aromatic burnt Neapolitan he had made coffee in the plain Caribbean Coffee Bean Islands, it was as pungent as perfume, but didn't taste like perfume. It fell short with milk through and the old ladies around the islands drank coffee quick. It traded competitively around the islands but people like Count, Viscount, the Count were ready to invade his vineyards. Stormy he had been stopped at the docks and 6 ships were broadsiding. In the dark bottom storage Napoleon found Viscount carrying off his produce. Like a sinner but the kind of predator to not be startled while getting caught, but steal harder. En garde. Stop in the name of Caribbean Island Coffee and the force of Napoleon Rapier contemporary. I got your product figured out. Viscount was known as a great sculptor, making 7 sculptures already of himself. You wouldn't destroy my produce if you could never have it? Viscount's huge white ponytail like captain's hat looked aristocratic, he was the best dressed on the battlefield for sure. And incredibly flamboyant. No I wouldn't, he raised his white gloves and 2 luxurious rapier. They fought with rapier cutlass, a new argument. Pirate Napoleon shot a grape shot big as a fist from his long musket, Viscount rolled like he was playing Dark Souls and Napoleon destroyed his own mahogany desk, embers flashing his beard. Viscount stabbed for his heart greedily twice but was superiorly deflected. Viscount was fast and maybe weak he would figure out that soon every thrust was piercingly deflected. Napoleon made a 6 slash on his chest soccer blue candle and Viscount disarmed through the pain, defeated. An irrefutable piercing point. He felt like he had never worked out but I guess there was no armor. Upon the decks pirates fought without much clothes and armor, winning a battle that could determine the next. Viscount has been taken, yield unto us. Comically a lot of pirates tried to calm each other into stopping fighting. It's over. Stop fighting. Viscount has been defeated. He opened his voice to speak but instead caught a flying chicken in his mouth. It fluttered upset and confused. Please, my legs are sensitive. A pigeon took a shit on his shoulder like experimental painter. Your pirates are standing on a knife's edge. Edge of a knife. A pigeon took a shit on his shoulder. Thank you, pigeons. Can you aim better next time? A pigeon shit on his next shoulder thus. I am beyond any pigeon shitting. Napoleon shot Count through a cannon straight up. He looked like a smoked chicken leg and in pain. A golden fleeced, disproportionately large legs and ears bunny came to Napoleon's side with pink shining antlers, Windlance the golden-footed. You can have the new vineyard, Ford and I almost drank these barrels of smoked habanero Henri Bourgeois, I buy my release. Smoky black hair ruined Count Seth. Find your captain. In a culverin, Viscount was fired 30 meters into the sea and his crew ran like theater pals concerned with their leader. He's a pussy but at least he cares about the environment. It's great working for him, he is a sensitive coward, many books. The Coffee Bean Islands were like a huge island territory, flying migrating whales with ghost light green luminescent undersides, except for the northwest and a huge hole of water in the middle plus 4 islands. There were 7 territories, 8 colonies and 9 pirate factions fighting. Elves, France, England, Dwarf, Italy, Spain, China, with the 8th colony being Barbarian and 9th pirate faction the Penniless Corsairs. You were not allowed to eat the cows, sheep and even goats here, because they produced the cheese. The wine was warm, fruity and 50% like juice and was a place of nutty, chocolatey, creamy and bitter coffee. The sport was a deconstructed version of baseball that usually ended up with everyone drinking wine then fighting each other. This was a place where people drank more wine than beer, dark rum over spirits. Because of the wine culture, drinking lower percent wine was okay, and for teenagers it was served in school, maximum 2 cups. Turns out alcohol makes you forget what you learn, oh well. Just like in France. Smoking wisdom stem, clarity leaf, Blackguard's bountiful cheeky retort and Cuban cigars was also legal at 16. A land of delicacy for some, a land of making money for those with taste buds. Everyone wanted the best, latest gourmand thing, ready to pay for it. There were breadsticks, chocolate chips and peanut hazelnut chocolate pizza. They had restaurants like Religious, kept up to 14 icons of kept reviews, new cuisine, fusion cuisine. The food reviewers were cruel and feared, ready to be presumptuous. The latest places, some affordable once in a while, they blew romantic experiences together, a cute time but they savored the food more. Fat people were held to different conversations, they knew how it was here, the chefs were supposed to be overweight. The chocolate was sacred, when you bought another 100 grams luxury piece for €7. Olive oil and barbecue sauce was the religion, sacred, sold in artistic bottles, talked about like frail relatives, like dirty allowance. Piracy was common as Saturdays or maybe Wednesdays, everyone had practiced fencing, cannoneering or hired muscle. Anti-piracy politicians were not ambitious and usually took cigars from the side, but the golden age of coffee beans was not yet. They drank wine in the arguing lower rooms and smoked the cigars between savory lies. The pirates lathed treasure and glided free, they found hordes of treasure and gold to spend in French ports then competitively fought gang to gang, making territory. Offense was better than defense, cigar-smoking masters clasped their heads and they lost 2 territory for 3. The 9 seas were unexplored, the free pirate ports were cozy, small countries luxurious, headed by pirate captains in shipwrecks. One devious plot was paying pirate ports to raid let's say Port Salut of its defenses then you siege in and claim the port yourself. We see our hero James, after getting here finding himself in a fine-ass establishment, small dancing room in the Royal Port Salut Ball. He had bribed the guard and smooth-talked himself into the privilege. The small orchestra was going crazy on classical music, speed and intensity technical to metal, wigs flailing. James was dancing like a god, tearing it up with his extreme sports designer wheelchair he did one-wheel wheelies and breakdances with. Our boy could spin on his head arms out wheelchair balancing skewed on uneven legs. How did he do this? Although daughters the governors were 50 and the daughters 30, people were only interested in the beautiful daughters. In the end the posh contestants applauded each other and the boy James grabbed the port's governor's daughter, huge bosom and slender waist, let her see the room upside down from his grip then he kissed her passionately. These daughters could be beautiful like this, with hair up in knots, ginger, blonde and auburn. Thus he exited on his insane magical, black power engine wheelchair, steering with XXL arms and bloody veins popping. His arms looked like he raced wheelchairs. He asked the daughter shorter, humble, linear and contrite. She liked being taller for now but could have enjoyed it more. Would you like to sit in my wheelchair, dwarven technology this is? She sat like a rescued dame. They blazed off in the luxurious governing halls with pitiful pastel coloring, James flying up the walls and looping the ceiling avoiding people in the way. This was a common tradition. You might have won my heart over dancing again James, I think for you I have a look at these fine gifts, there are spare artsy parts like bonus quarterly wine. You are rich like doubt. 3 rapiers, stabbing weapons, with luxurious artsy guards, detailed like getting new glasses. I don't have a rapier, fine amethyst. You bought me an amethyst? Quite, James procured a ruby from his pocket with at least shades of pink. Join me fair lady for a wheelchair race, fishing of exotic laziness and rum drinking on a sunny beach. Like sinners are we, in lieu of toiling work and beautiful places forbidden. I love this amethyst, sure I'll go, yes it's with your Cuban friend? Her eyes loved treasure as these ideas. Enter tropical fishing hut and beach, with Monsieur Mansion on the hill aft sunny vineyards. You know this James, the adventurer and collector of keys now? Said Napoleon. Quite a charming rogue, said daughter Weiss, daughter of all actors the governor. I like it when he tries to be posh and luxurious. He has a lot of money, people say. He's an adventurer, successful one. Don't ruin it. Rev up, gentlemen. James and Olivia with one wheelchair each revved and revved. Eventually fire was starting to break at the bottom wheels. And they are off. Zoom, like greased lightning. James had such a lightning start, but somehow, Olivia is keeping up with him. He's gaining in insanely muscular strides. They pushed each other, wheelchair carnage. James hit the railings of the docks and glided until he had to jump a 2-meter gap down to the next railing. James tried and tried his best, but heart sinking, eventually Olivia rounded him. Finish around the beach. Well, Mr. Olivia was as muscular as steroids themselves, arms like a caricature. Intelligently, Napoleon didn't mind saying, so we are 3 thinkers here, everyone exceptional. I think together we'll be a proud coffee gourmand office. Whatever thus. So you don't mind working for me, French and coffee business, you will be my muscle, fixer and mixer. Olivia spends all his free time mixturing with chemistry. Olivia didn't hear this like he was selectively deaf. Be careful.